That's better. Let's have a look at today's show. We drop into the Hyundai High Performance Centre to see who's been upping their surf skills. See some highlights from the Australian Indigenous Surfing Titles held at Djarrk or Bells Beach. And Isabella Nichols goes deep with Richie Lovett on what fins she rides in her magic sleds on the WSL Tour. No whales on that rock. Before we do anything, we're going to take a look at the top 5 moments from the first ever Usher Cup and World Club Challenge. The Usher Cup is a specialty board riders invitational where individuals and teams compete to be the ultimate club in the country and the world. Number 5. The Legends Heat at the 2023 Usher Cup was like a real-life montage of all the posters you had on your wall as a Grom. A nostalgic feast of local shredders, raging bull grunt and effortless style, all painted on midday Snapper Rocks canvas. A masterpiece. Number 4. Dimity Shimmy Disco Style tore apart the Snapper walls for a win in the women's division of the individual competition.
I love finding those little double-up runners at Snapper, like they're my favourite kind of waves. The Snapper gods delivered. Oh my God, I'm so happy.
Number 3. Mermaid Nobbies Miami, or M&M, came out on top of the first World Club Challenge, beating some of the best board riders clubs in the world to secure the victory in the team's competition.
What a finish to that ride for Sean Gunning. 8.33. M&M have broken through for a victory here in the World Club Challenge.
Number 2. Merriweather Board Riders Club's Morgan Sibley decimated a stacked field to take the victory in the men's division. He ripped the Snapper walls to shreds on his way to victory. Yeah, Morgs!
This is a hotly contested clash. Morgan just showing that compact power that's seen him fetch huge results and make finals on the CT.
It's good to surf against like Shelley, Alistair and Ben. I haven't seen much of Ben surfing and man, he was ripping all day. It was so sick to see. And Alistair and Shelley are CT level, especially out here and everywhere as well. So yeah, it just felt good. It was a sick event.
Number 1. The Chook, Troy Brooks, with 5 excellent rides. During his round 2 and 3 heats, Brooko managed to score an 8.5, a 10, a 9.93, a 9.47 and a 9.17. He might not have won the comp, but geez, he was the people's champion.
What do we got here? Now, this one might open up. Troy Brooks tucks in. Behind the curtain, still running through this one. Finds his way through.
Unbelievable.
And the numbers in. It's a 10-point ride for Troy Brooks here at the Usher Cup. That's in the Usher Cup highlight reel forever, that one.
And here we go.
Who won the heat. Troy Brooks is in there again. Look at that, though. Mate, that is classic style. Mate, that was really cool. I loved it.
How sick! The Usher Group continues to support the local community by donating to 10 charities throughout the course of the event. And the 2024 Usher Cup promises to be even bigger, with more international clubs coming down under to battle it out for that title. Give them a follow at Usher Cup to find out details for next year's event. I'm going back to me rock.
This isn't me rock. We saw a competition advertised by Harvey Norman to win a trip for our juniors to the High Performance Centre, and we were super keen to enter on behalf of our junior girls, which is a group that's grown from 6 to about 15 girls in the last couple of years. So we wanted to give them an opportunity to get together, learn some more skills, bond together and just grow the competence and confidence that they need, you know, to surf and have a great time, getting fit and healthy, but more importantly, just participating and getting around each other.
Conditions are pretty good. The weather's definitely amazing up here, so it was really nice to get away from the crowds of Sydney and have a nice surf with the girls.
I learnt about my turns and that I need to compress down more and do sharper so I can try and flick the tail out a bit more and have it more powerful. It's been really helpful having that because you can just keep on practicing and they can pinpoint what you need to focus on.
Using the Yao skateboards here, they're very surf specific. They have those trucks that you can manoeuvre around kind of like a surfboard. I feel like it's probably the most important training for when you're learning technique and how to move. Get a nice hold, look around, hold, 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 hold. Good. And keep that line nice. That's it. Good. You don't have to go through them perfectly. It's just that you're trying to go off the bottom and that's the top of the wave. Slide the tail, stay low. Oh, lovely. Arm up, tuck down. That's it. We did a little mobility sort of time trial course this morning, which is great because it kind of gets the girls to be a little bit competitive and it speeds them up. They have to move and get quick, and it's interesting to watch how they approach it, and there's difference in how competitive they are, but it's a lot of fun too. Balance on this, 3 seconds. Balance it for 1, 2, 3, go.
It's really nice to be away with the girls because they're also competitive in the comps and stuff, so it was good to just be on the land and do it and cheer everyone on.
We're enormously grateful to Harvey Norman for this opportunity and to Surfing Australia and the High Performance Centre for hosting us. To be able to support the community in this way and grassroots surfing is something that I know Harvey Norman are passionate about, and for us to be a part of that journey, to see the smiles on the girls' faces, we can't say thanks enough, and yeah, we're really, really grateful for this weekend.
Being a part of South Maroubra Board Riders is definitely amazing, just being with all my friends and making friends and just growing, it's just so fun, and I feel very privileged to be a part of such a great club.
It's awesome to see Harvey Norman get behind the board riders clubs and all the surfers in this country. It's grassroots and the girls are killing it. They're doing so well and it's just getting bigger and bigger. So yeah, awesome to see them, that support. It's what we need.
Overall, the camp was just amazing. To see all my friends surfing and smiling was just yeah, so fun.
Man, I love that rock. You know, it's so great to see the board riding movement growing each year. Seems like every day another club's popping up, giving surfers the opportunity to rip in and connect through surfing. But the Hyundai Surfing Australia High Performance Centre doesn't just cater for surfers. In fact, we get some of the best athletes from all over the country coming into this AIS accredited training mecca all the time. Take the Brisbane Lions AFLW team, for example, who had a blast when they came down to train in the very same facility as surfing's Olympians.
As soon as we walked in, it was honestly an insane facility. There's a gym, there's the ramps, the trampoline, the floors, and then you're right on the beach as well. So very lucky and yeah, grateful to be here.
It's probably the first time that we've actually been able to come down to a place like this.
Yeah, for the Hyundai High Performance Centre, for us to come here and be able to experience it is really exciting. It's such a great facility, and I think it's really exciting that clubs like ours are able to come through and experience it and be involved in a different sport as well. Is always nice for a change.
Really start to immerse ourselves in another high performance culture, in something that's really set it now a standard here with this centre in developing Olympic sport as well, is something that we're hopeful we can learn a thing or two off today and just have a good time today. The partnership that's brought us and the High Performance Centre with Hyundai together today has been something that we've wanted to do for a long time. We're able to take the girls down for a surf this morning, which is a barrel of laughs, and being able to laugh at each other and have a really good time this morning.
A lot of us obviously have tried surfing at some point in our life, but to be able to be coached and actually taught the technique and everything, and now obviously we're about to head in and do some other things like skateboarding and stuff, so it's always awesome to learn some new skills, things that we probably could actually take onto the footy field too, with just the balance and the movement and stuff like that. I think it just gives you different aspects and things around different training techniques, and obviously you get to come into a place like this and kind of see how other athletes are training and stuff like that.
We learnt heaps off the coaches and everything, so it's just nice to pick up a new skill, and I think it's just a really good opportunity to, I guess, experience something different, and a change of scenery is always nice. So just having that added element of something new that you haven't done before is always good at the end of the day.
How cool! Well, after the break, we're going to head down to Djarrk for the Australian Indigenous Surfing Titles presented by Rip Curl. I'm heading back to the Rock. Welcome back to Surfing Australia TV, presented by Harvey Norman. Well, we're about to head south to a very special place in Wada Wurrung country, Djarrk, for the Australian Surfing Indigenous Titles. Right on cue for this year's event, the Australian Southern Ocean delivered 6 to 8 foot lines of pure perfection for the competitors to open up on. Yes!
There's no ego in this car park. This is a real modern day corroboree. And this is where all the saltwater and freshwater mob come, and whoever wins, we're thankful for whoever wins, and we're thankful for everybody participating, and we appreciate the Wadawurrung mob from down here for welcoming us on country, and all the local Victorian surfers. Thanks for your time too. So it's just unreal, and we know that this is one of the best windows you've had in a good couple of years, isn't it?
It's so sick surfing bells with like 2 other people out, so very happy with that. Oh, the vibe is so good, like friends with all the other girls and been in a couple camps with them, and yeah, it's so good.
Bells has been putting on a show for everyone. It's great to be able to surf it and surf it with a good bunch of people, and stoked to be in the 50-year Storm event.
I feel like we're more of a community here, so we're just cheering each other on as much as we can. But there's certainly some rivalry now that all the girls are shredding, and it just makes it that bit harder to win.
I'm from Coffs Harbour, so we don't get to surf waves like that all the time. So it was first time I'd waxed the board up, so just on that big, fast canvas. Yeah, I was just lucky I didn't end up on that button at the end, but yeah, I had a great time.
What a way to crown the champions at this year's event. Well, after the break, we're going to check in with Isabella Nichols, who goes deep with a man who's as old and as solid as this rock when it comes to fin knowledge. We're talking about former CT legend Richie Lovett. Give us the good word on what Isabella uses in her magic sleds on the WSL World Tour.
Surfboard fins have a major influence on how you and your surfboard perform together. Sure, there's magic in the surfboard design, but it's the fins that brings that magic to life. So we're going to check in with some of the world's best surfers and chat to them about their preferred fin templates. Bella, thanks for having us in the garage. Look at all these boards.
Yes, welcome to my humble abode.
Thank you. So these are all Ferraris?
These are all Ferraris.
And these are your comp boards?
Most of them, yes. Some of them, obviously, small wave boards, and then it varies all the way down to my step up. When I was growing up and, trying to get better at surfing, for me, fins weren't something that made such a big difference. But then once I started nitpicking and, I wanted to hold my car for a little longer, I wanted to throw more spray or get more release, that was when I started playing with fins and fin templates. And so I've gone through, Colohays, Julians, AMs, Felipe's, Mix, all of them. And through the different stages of my career, they've all had different positives. And so as I transition into trying, to make my turns more powerful, I've gradually moved over to the mix slowly.
So the Toledos, do you ever go back to them, say little beachies, pockety little sections when you just want to have a little bit of fun?
I think with these fins, if it were, say, 1 to 2 foot tight little sections where I don't really need to utilise a full carve, I would 100% go straight back to the fleeps. They do release for me a lot better than the mix, but they don't hold as well through a carve. So if I don't need to carve, then I don't need to ride the mix. I'll jump on these.
When I think about your surfing, it's really smooth. You do like to carve a lot, and obviously that's a product of growing up in, you know, Queensland on the points. But you do have this whippy little hack that you do off the lip, which is nice and tight. You know, it's a real tight pivot, and I feel like that's why you perhaps like the Merricks as well.
I do. They are like one of my staples.
Carver family, obviously, the AMs, but the difference with this fin is that it's got a smaller centre fin. So you get all that drive, you get all that momentum and acceleration through it, but the smaller centre fin allows you to release a lot, and that kind of is exactly what I think about when I think about your surfing on this.
So these were my go-to for, I think, like 3 years before I jumped on the Felipes. I think I transitioned to the Felipes. I did about 6 months on them before I jumped to the mix.
Okay.
But through the whole QS, these were my go-to.
So which one of these is the special number one, the go-to?
It's hard to pick, but at this point in time, I'd say this beauty here with #1 on it.
Okay.
It's 5'9½", 18 5/16", and 2 3/16". The volume, this one is 24.5. I weigh, on average, like 64 kilos.
Okay.
Through the off-season, it was going really well, and I rode it at Bell's at Winky. And yeah, it did the job. It's fast, smooth, it's sharp. Darren did a good job.
So you can't help but notice Mick Fanning fin, which is obviously a really popular fin for a lot of people on the tour.
I feel like I've gone through a cycle of all the different fins, but right now, the mix seemed to be the most consistent for me. What with the waves on tour being open, carvy waves, I found that the mix held nicely through turns, but also allowed for that release as well if there was ever like a steep section. I just find that whether it's a punchy beachy or a big open Bell's face, like I don't ever have to think about what fin I want to ride because it's just so consistent.
So let's just touch on the system itself and how convenient it is. And you know, you've got all these fins that you've told us that you like riding. It must be nice to just pop them in and out.
Firstly, it's nice to not have to hunt for a fin key every time you want to change your fins. Because I like to lose things, and if I had to change fins with a fin key, I think I would be stuffed.
Do you know what you can do too with these? If you do want to lock them in place, put the fin in and then you can just put a little grub screw in the back hole here, in the plug. And it actually locks the fin in place, it cannot come out. Sounds like you're pretty dialed in and you know what's going on, and I'm stoked the Mick Fanning fin is working for you. But then you've also got some options, so that's great.
Definitely got every base covered.
Well, thanks so much for having us in here.
Thank you.
Little sneak peek into the equipment, and yeah, best of luck for the rest of the year.
Thank you, thanks for coming.
Cool.
Good to talk fins.
Yes, always.
Far out. How's all that info? I couldn't even take notes. Well, that's it for this episode of Surfing Australia TV, presented by Harvey Norman. Make sure you tune in next episode where we check in with the greatest women's participation event in all of Surfing Australia. It's Seize the Day, and it's happening right now at Kingscliff Beach, New South Wales. Until then, I'm Vaughan Blakey. Shred you later. Going back up there.
I can see my house from here. Every time we get